getting an opportunity to go back and look at the tape and, see it again. Much like I said yesterday after the game, I feel like there's a lot of things that we did well, but there's still some things that I think, we still need to clean up. I thought, offensively, I think probably the biggest difference in our ability to score points was we converted on third downs, which kept drives alive, had more opportunities, and we were able to cash in the red area. Part of that being able to cash in the red area is being able to run the ball effectively down there. So I thought those were, a couple of key factors. And I still think there were some third downs that, we had opportunities to convert and didn't get it. So I feel like, we can still be better there. I do feel like one of the things we talked about in this game was being able to, win the line of scrimmage up front offensively, and I thought our offensive line, overall did a nice job both in the run game and in the passing game of creating some holes in the run game and giving us some clean pockets to throw in the passing game. Defensively, I've got to do a better job of getting our guys, ready to play to start the game, because it's 3 straight weeks that we've started off slowly, given up explosive plays, allowed points, and then we settle in and play much better in the second half. But I've got to do a better job there. So I got to kind of look at, what I'm doing, what I'm calling, how I'm getting the guys prepared. But that certainly is, unacceptable in terms of the way that we've played, in the first half defensively. I know I thought we did a really good job in the passing game defensively. We were not as good in the running game, and really that's a result of 2 really explosive plays in the running game. I think they had 160-something yards rushing, and 83 of them came on, the 2 plays. So one, we had a mental error, so we didn't get it fit up right. The other one, I thought they did a good job of blocking it, had a, kind of a tough fit on the outside. They bounced it outside, tried to get it out on the corner, and I thought they executed there and did a good job. So I thought, the consistency of the run game actually was much better than what the stats would say. But you give up 2 40-plus yard runs, and that's going to kill your run stats. So penalties hurt us. We had the special teams penalty, which is totally unacceptable. It's a dumb penalty. Cost us 4 points. And then, each one of their scoring drives really were aided by defensive or special teams penalties. And so if we want to eliminate points, we got to eliminate those.
Yeah, you only gave up 43 points.
Yeah, go ahead.
You've only given up 2 sacks in the past 2 weeks. What do you kind of attribute to that number, just to improvement on the offensive line?
Well, look, I think it just gets back to going back and working. I think everybody looks for this, great idea of, oh, well, we did this or we did that, and really we just, kept grinding and kept working, and guys are paying attention to the details of what we're trying to get accomplished, and they've done a better job of executing there in the last couple of weeks.
Was that pretty much the story of it also, I guess, with the offensive execution, where you guys just communicated better and executed better?
Yeah. There was some plays that we missed, but they weren't really lack of communication. They were just, we just missed the play. So I think there was probably about 4 plays in the passing game where I felt like there were some opportunities there that we didn't take advantage of.
Dennis, is there like a skill Taysom has when you're talking about running? He's really in those short yardage situations, kind of condensed field situations. just skill that comes with that, or is that just him being big and fast and
Him being what?
big and fast?
Yeah, look, there's a combination of that. I mean, but you got a 240-pound guy that isn't afraid to stick his nose in there and run the ball downhill. That's kind of difficult. And then, you get some of these plays where you want to put Bink in there and lead with a 300-pounder. I think any time the quarterback position becomes a threat to run the football, I think it makes it really challenging on the defense. And each run is different in how it's designed and how it affects the defense. The gap scheme runs affect the defense differently than the, call it, zone read plays. So, it forces you to have to play 11-on-11 football. And I think Taysom, there's a skill set that's involved in that and a mentality that's involved in that probably as much as anything.
Every week you guys say that, you do great and there are some things you still leave on the field, but how close was this offensive performance to them playing the complete game?
Yeah, well, look, there's no such thing as the perfect game. I think we're always striving for perfection, and so that's always going to be our standard and our expectation. But yeah, I thought offensively there was a lot of good things that we did in the game.
And what level of elation do you have with the way the offensive linemen have stepped up even amongst the injuries?
Yeah, I don't know if elation's the right word, but I'm certainly proud of the way those guys have stepped up, particularly with a lot of the injuries that we've had on the offensive line and guys playing in different positions and doing some different things. I think the last couple of weeks, I think you've seen some steady improvement with that group as the season's gone on, and I still feel like there's a lot of things that we can do better at, and that's some of the things that we're pointing out today.
What do you think yesterday's win did for just after kind of talking about it all week and getting together, just seeing that kind of communication pay off throughout the week?
And look, I think anytime you win in this league, I think it breeds some confidence in your group, whether it be an individual player, a position group, one side of the ball or the other. I mean, I think anytime you win in this league, it boosts your confidence. So that was good to see. And all that being said, okay, that one's over, and now we got to go on to the next one. And so we've got to have, great focus, great preparation, great communication throughout this week as we got Chicago coming in here.
What exactly were you pinpointing on the slow starts on defense that you have to do a better job with this? Is that like mindset, or is that you guys are calling inefficient defenses or mental errors?
Well, look, I think there's a combination of multiple things, and so look, that's my job to get that cleaned up and get that fixed, and we'll keep working on it because when we do everything right, and I got to do a better job of putting our guys in position to be successful and make plays, and I got to do a better job of preparing our guys for what they might see, early on in games, because there's a lot of teams you'll get into the first, call it openers, first 15, whatever you want to call it. You see some unique formations, you see some unique motions, you see some different things, some things that they want to try to see how you're going to adjust, and so I just think I got to do a better job getting our guys prepared for all those things.
I asked you about Adebo on Friday. You said he's doing well, some fundamental things he can work on. Can you be a little more specific on what he needs to keep improving on? But also, is he grading out as well as he ever has?
Yeah, look, I think this was probably his best game. Without getting into a lot of the details and giving anything to our opponents or anything. I mean, I just think there's some fundamental technique things that I think he can improve on, which is going to help him play even that much better. I thought he was I thought he was outstanding in the game. I really did. I thought he did, a lot of really, really good things. The consistency of his technique was much improved in this game. So, yeah, I think he's playing at a high level. I think, I thought our corners did a really good job in this game. Taking away the things that they wanted to be able to do in the passing game, which allowed us to do some different things. Hopefully, stop the run. And like I said, there's 22 run plays where I felt like, we were probably pretty effective. It's probably a little overblown, probably more, 18 to 20 where I felt like, man, that was good run defense. And then there was 3 or 4 where it was, not very good.
Has his performance at all changed your mindset on when to stay right, left, and when to shadow with Marshawn, or because it seems like you guys have done right, left?
Yeah, we've been a lot more right and left. I mean, obviously, each and every week we go into the game plan and we look at what we need to do and how we need to do it. I would say this. I would say, with all of our corners, we feel confident in their ability to go match up, with anybody. So yeah, I would say that's probably been, part of the reason why we haven't felt like we needed to go match up.
And my last question, that was his decision to return it out of the end zone a no-yes situation, or
No, it was the right decision. Yeah. He intercepted the ball on about the 2 or 3 yard line. His momentum carried him into the end zone. So it's really kind of the same situation we had earlier in the year with Ike Yedem, where, if he's down in the end zone, we're going to get the ball on the 3 yard line. So I thought he made the right decision and, got the ball out around the 30 yard line. So it was and look, that was a huge play in the game. A couple of things that came up in the game that, I talked to the defense about, they had the 2 explosive runs, but I thought our guys did a great job of running them down and getting them down and giving us an opportunity to play, red zone defense. The first series, we end up stopping them, forcing the field goal. We have the penalty on special teams, and then they end up bringing the offense back out and going for it on the 4th down, and then the second explosive run, we get the interception. So those are huge plays in the game. It wasn't what we designed, wasn't what we were looking for, but that's kind of the never give up attitude that our guys have to have.
Dennis, that inside release that Shaheed took on that 3rd and 13 ball at the end of the game, how hard is that for the receiver to then track back outside to kind of be in position to make that play? Why is the inside release something that you guys wouldn't typically do in that situation?
Well, I just think it's that's not a typical go ball release, and so it affects how the corners kind of think that they're playing. Now the challenge is on the inside release being able to get your width and get back out to the red line so that you're not running into the safety. But look, I thought, when they lined up and you saw that you were getting single high coverage, I felt like we had a good chance with, either him, Shaheed or Chris.
I know you said you want to start faster defensively. Is that made more difficult by, I guess, the feeling out process where you're trying to get a sense of what they're doing and then make the adjustment?
Yeah, there's a little bit of that, but we've had games where we've started out fast and played well early on in the game, and then obviously the last 3 weeks we haven't. So that's something that we've got to do a better job of, and so I think from my standpoint, I got to do a better job of getting our guys prepared for the things that they might see in these openers so that we can start faster.
Was there something yesterday that you feel like you pinpointed after those first 15 plays that allowed you guys to kind of cover defensively?
Yeah, I think we got a better feel for kind of the way they wanted to play the game, look, they wanted to play the game to, run the football and then have a couple of, shot plays, hopefully to, take advantage of us, loading the box at times. So, but I felt like I told our guys at halftime, I said, I told the corners that they were, they were covering their ass off, and so and they were going to need to do that so that we could put a few more resources down in the box to stop the run.
Yeah, I know I asked you this last week, but Andres Pete playing left tackle, how do you think he's done, 2 weeks into it?
Yeah, look, I thought overall in game one, knowing that he was blocking Josh Allen, who'd been a highly productive pass rusher, I thought overall he did a good job. There were some rough patches in that game, some rough plays, but yet, being that he hadn't played the position, I thought overall I was pleased with that. And then I saw a significant improvement this week, so. Yeah, I've been pleased with what he's been able to do, and hopefully, if he stays out there, that he can continue to, to improve and get better.
Foskey obviously made a potentially huge play yesterday. How's his development been?
This was probably his best game overall. It's probably his best week of practice. I think there's a physicality element that has to continue to improve with that player. I think there's always the growth process in terms of just learning and understanding the game. But I do think there's a physicality that has to increase a little bit with him, and I saw a little bit more of that in this game.
After watching the film, what did you think of Derek's performance?
I thought overall, it was his most productive game. I thought he operated the offense at a high level. And I thought we took advantage of some opportunities to make some plays. And I still think that there's a half a dozen plays that, I think he could have been better on, and I think he would say the same thing, So we're going to continue to strive for perfection and understand that that's never been attained in our league, but yet that's what we have to strive for.
Do you have a rough estimate of how many guys ended up dealing with that bug?
I would say it's probably double digits, 10 to 12, that dealt with it at some point throughout the week.
And is that what kept May mostly out, or it was more of the hamstring? That mostly out?
I think the biggest thing is that he was limited in practice on Wednesday, didn't practice on Thursday, didn't practice on Friday. And so we felt like, I think Marcus is a guy that needs to get some work. I think he needs to practice,
That bug hit him kind of midweek, like he was limited with.
That was Thursday.
Yeah.
So, which caused him to miss basically Thursday and Friday practice. All good?
Thank you.
Okay, guys, thanks.